Hello, today's topic is the human spirit, which should be your closest friend if you want to admit that it's there, which it is. So, what do you do to talk? What do you do to be friends with something that's there, but you can't see it? And you kind of, I don't know, maybe do believe it or don't believe it. You talk to it like it's your friend. So you say, I'm sad. Can you help me out with that? How does your spirit, your human spirit, help you out with that? Um, so if you think of you're in a physical world, so you physically can do things, right? We touch, we pick up, we do all that kind of stuff. If you speak to your human spirit and ask for help, it can go and talk to other spirits to gather up help for you. Go up to heaven, wherever it needs to go. Whoever, you may have a fairy friend on the other side that your human spirit's friends with, or your soul is, as they are different and separate. Um, I happen to have a fairy friend who helps me out with a lot of things, and an elf, and some other friends. But specifically to stay on topic, your human spirit is closer to you than your soul. It gathers around you. So, also, as I speak, I am setting myself, tuning myself to make sure that I am speaking correctly and saying things honestly. So I'm opening myself up to God, to heaven, to stay clear channel in order to say things that are correct. So I hear in my head yes or no, or clarity will come to me due to me being human and having culminated things through my life by absorbing and taking and thinking and being who I was before I had awoken. So it's easy to jump to a conclusion or just make a human thought happen. So I stay open to hear yes or no and cue other cues to ensure that I'm giving the most accurate information that I can give. And so we all are connected to different sources that eventually go up to the source. So we can have similar information, but it would be like another puzzle piece. So if I pause or look off, I'm also looking to make sure I'm saying the correct thing as well. I'm not going to edit these, so if I say too much or pause weirdly and stare at the camera, that might just because I'm awkward, because that's who I am. So back to the human spirit, and the connection that the bond and the friendship that would benefit you is to get to know your human spirit. So if you want to think that's closer to this absolute, this major source, this ultimate, the true source of energy. So talking to your human spirit and getting to know it and working with it would be closer to the energy source. So that's one step closer. You can keep working it closer and closer, of course, as you build a relationship. And work with yourself because you want to get to know yourself. You want to work with that intimate part of you that no one else can touch, your inside world, your heart, your emotions. And emotions are the spiritual realm. We filter information, and it goes through, and we feel the emotion. We have to decode the information with our brain from the which they're correcting me right now. So we take in energy, and it goes through us, and those are the emotions, and then our brain breaks them down. The clearer your mind and thoughts are, the easier it is for you to understand what is happening, what is going on. So the constant question for clarity, for people that are really developed or working with God or any spiritual, is the asking to clarify the information you've just received. So I received this truth. I want more of the truth. So if this is all I can handle of the truth right now, I want more of it because I want to keep getting past this part, this stuck state, this pain, suffering, confusion, unhappiness, any of these lower states, um, or something that I'm meant to go through. I want to keep moving instead of staying in it. If you want to think of a human spirit that didn't make it over to the other side, clearly, and that's a whole broad topic, that would be stuck in the earth realm, over time will darken and darken. So you think about being without this light, this love, this uh, energy. If you're in the dark, you take a plant that's meant for the light and move it in the dark, it slowly dies and slowly gets darker and darker. So that can happen to your human spirit. If it gets trapped here, so you want to communicate with it, and if your dying breath, you want to say, I release all my energy to the source, to God, um, and pray for safe passage. You can do all this stuff before into, time is relative. So your human spirit, you want to get to know, because it is in the other realm. It is the other side, that duality, the human, which we are this vessel, this amazing creation, full of energy, um, all of these different energetic patterns, energetic body, emotional body, mental body, chakras, amongst other things, pressure points, chi, all these things combined. We are this amazing, amazing creation. So we have this body that is a house, and we should treat it. The whole thing, treat your body like a temple. It is a temple. It's what houses this energy, amongst other things. So get to know it and get inside, and getting through the pain, getting through life, getting through all these curses, other things that could come about or be a part of the journey, is getting through that to get into know your human spirit, and eventually your soul. You want to get to know that as well, of course, because that is your powerhouse, if you want to think it that way. If you want to think of any natural gifts, those would come from your soul. So people that are born awake are closer to their souls, or their soul is in power of them, but it doesn't take over, because we do have a choice to make as a human, um, which is a great segue for the choices that we make daily, and the choices that we make with the words we speak, what we put out there. That is damaging. That is power as well. We can talk. We can communicate. It's amazing, um, that any of this works the way it does. It's amazing. So be wise of what you say and what you think. Think about the environment you're raised in and what was put into your brain. It takes a while to deprogram yourself from any influence in your childhood, in a harsh environment. If you have a harsh mind, it's difficult to think of something positive, or even get that positive thought through. And if someone is positive back to you and gives that to you, that positivity, it's weird, because you have this harsh mind. So something nice is strange. So you want to fire back harshly, or like protect yourself, because someone was kind to you and you don't even know what that is. It happens. There's a way out. There's a way out of everything. It is faith, trust, belief. It is all of those things, um, that have been the path in many different ways to get to a higher plane, a better way of thinking, self love, all these wonderful magical things that are achieved through determination and a lot of blind faith, if you are in a bad space, because most people don't understand that there's a lot of people that have not been to your worst. So it's hard for people to relate, and they most likely won't relate. It doesn't mean they don't care or don't understand. It's just let go of expectations of someone being able to understand exactly what you're going through, because it is your own private hell, if you want to call it that way. So rescue yourself by knowing your spirit, your human spirit. Talk to it. Ask it to work with you. Ask it to guide you. And people get afraid of that because, oh no, I'm trusting something I can't see. That happens daily. I mean, you believe in a lot of things you can't see. The wind blows. It happens. Whether you believe it or not, the wind's blowing. You know it's there. It's the wind. Who's controlling that? How does it happen? Most people don't even care. It's just a regular known fact. Um, Strange stuff. So first thing you can do to talk to your human spirit is just, it's like a inner dialogue you start learning, and eventually you'll start getting a response, or feeling a little nudge of guidance. You know, so this is really complicated for me. I hope I adjust to this because I'm talking to a screen and not a human in front of me, which is what I'm built. I feel like I'm built to talk to a human and work with a human and their energy and the person in front of me. It's easier for me to do it that way. This is a little tricky just to do a broad conversation because so much goes into one human and one life. It's so complex and beautiful and wonderful. And I miss that, talking to the screen and staring at myself talk. Um, I like the human interaction, so I would like a shop where I can do one-on-ones or actually see people and see their faces and feel their energy and see inside them and help them grow. That's my mission. It's part of my life. Um, I do work for God. All the topics that I will talk about probably will get people thinking that I don't. Demons are real. They do have a purpose. On either side, not all things are actually in your favor, light or dark. They have their own purpose, and the higher up you go, the smaller we get. So think about that. Doesn't mean we're insignificant. Doesn't mean there is not love or concern for us. There's a lot of support on the other side, and there's a lot of growth that is to be given or asked for, and worked to attain. We need to grow as humans and humanity, and it's pretty rough out there right now. It's going to get worse. It's just how it's going to be. It's going to get worse because there's so many people just fighting to fight. So if most of you have gone through life without a purpose, it can be complicated and difficult and feel like, why am I doing this? Like, what's the point? Like, what's the point? So, when you start applying a good purpose to things, and using your intention, that intention work, good old intention work, um, you can start making change in your life. You can start making changes. So, fighting for a cause, fighting anger with anger doesn't really work because you're just feeding the anger, or just it's two people opposing each other and nothing's really getting solved. We are working towards the end times. It is real, and in so many different ways, it's so much closer now than it ever was before. And that's another topic for another time. I guess this is kind of long, so maybe I should stop right now. And continue on talking about the human spirit because we really need to get to know what we're made of, and know ourselves so we can continue on further with love and understanding, and turning all that passion, all that anger into compassion and passion to help people change and to better this world and to end murder on any degree, whether it's an animal. It's difficult for me sometimes to eat plants because I had to take something to live. It doesn't always make me happy. So when you're really sensitive and you can feel everything, it gets a little complicated to move or breathe because some harm is done. And it can hurt. So it's like hurting yourself by hurting something else. So more sensitive, more open people can get to their emotions, and feeling them and respecting them and honoring them, the more you'll understand that. So it's a journey. It's a journey. Not everyone will make it through, but I'll keep posting. Have a good night.